Good morning and welcome to the May 23rd, 2025 Pittsburgh Regional Transit Board meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and first order of business will be please rise if you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance and stand for a moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First order of business is roll call. The list here. Representative Totten.
Present.
Representative Fan. Present. Representative Shuker. Present. Representative McClenny. Present. Representative Berginger.
Present.
And to lead online, we have Senator Williams.
Present.
Thank you. And Representative Abney.
Present.
Okay, thank you. Next order of business will be approval of the minutes. The approval of the minutes for the April 25th, 2025 regular meeting. May I ask for a motion to approve? Motion.
Second.
Bring a motion in second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Our next item of business will be a report for our Chief Executive Officer, Ms. Kellerman. Catherine?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm trying this on my phone as opposed to paper so we can save the planet. Wish us luck. Thank you very much. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on a not sunny start to Memorial Day weekend. May I please have a moment of silence for the following retirees who have passed away since we last met. These are all former operators: John Atkins, Edward Courtney Jr., James Dunbar, James Esposito, and Lawrence Jackson. Thank you. Big changes are coming to our system starting on June 22nd, especially in downtown. Whether you're a regular rider or just an occasional one, you will likely notice some things are different. That's by design. These changes are part of our commitment to keep moving forward and deliver our PRTX bus rapid transit line. So if you have been around downtown recently, you've started seeing a lot of red. Pretty cool, right? Not just paint, but actual red top in what will be our bus only lanes. That is wrapping up in the next few days. And you will see these bus only lanes on Ross, William Penn, Market Square, Wood Street, and Steel Plaza. So that becomes the anchor for our new University Line PRTX service. Overall, on our June schedule change, over about 30 routes are being adjusted as part of the changes, some due to BRT, others for system-wide efficiency. More buses, many of the buses that serve downtown, especially the 61s and 71s and P routes, will now serve these new PRTX stations, which you've seen going up downtown, and the newly created red bus lanes. We've shifted stop locations, we're adjusting schedules, and updating routing to better match where people live and work and travel. And this summer, we'll also be installing 6 new bus stop platforms. You also know them as the bump outs. You've seen them on Liberty, to provide more room to wait for our buses. Some of this might take some more getting used to, but it's all designed to improve the experience for riders by reducing wait times and keeping buses moving and on schedule. We know that this work does come with growing pains, especially mine this morning, the irony of being stuck behind buses for traffic for the red lane when I'm coming here. Construction, sidewalk, utility work, it's a lot. And it will take enforcement to make sure these lanes stay clear of cars so our buses can get through, and this project really works. So we thank you in advance for your patience for a better ride ahead. Now, beyond these changes, we are approaching a turning point for public transit in Pittsburgh, Southwestern PA, and the entire Commonwealth. It's one of those moments that doesn't always announce itself, but years from now, we'll look back and we'll say this was when that decision was made. And it's not just about budgets or buses, but about who we want to be as a region and what we're willing to do to get there. Now, public transit is great to get you from one place to another, but that's not just why we exist. We build a Pittsburgh that is more connected, more inclusive for everyone, and ready to grow. And you know the future's in the balance. We know what needs to be done. We have the plans and the team. We've heard the voices, and we know how to make this work. The question now is whether we collectively choose to invest. Public transit is often thought of as a utility, a service to get people from one place to another. And of course, it's that, but it's so much more. Transit is a platform for opportunity, for access, for connection, and for growth. This is what allows a student to get on time to class at Pitt, Carlo, or CCAC. This is how a home health aide travels between patients. It's how a parent gets to a job, gets to job training, picks up a child from after school, or drops them off before school. It's how a retiree gets to their doctor's appointment, or the grocery store, or to visit the grandkids, and how the grandkids come to visit the retiree. Transit is how the economy moves because transit is how people move. And when done right, it's frequent, reliable, accessible, and designed with the community in mind. You've heard me say, we just run the service, but our communities own it. Transit becomes a reason to stay, a reason to invest, and a reason to build a life, especially here. Pittsburgh has been working for decades to reverse a decline and spark growth in vibrancy, sustainability, and inclusion. In fact, when I was fortunate enough 8 years ago to have the opportunity to invest, to come here, I was struck by the sense that this region had been through the 70s and the 80s. Come at me with your next best shot, John Tague. But the sense that we had been through it and we were ready to do the work to grow. We've been trying to write this new chapter as a region, and we've made a lot of progress. We have world-class hospitals. We have some of the best universities in the world. We have a cultural scene that punches above its weight. We have one of the best symphonies in the world, you guys. You go overseas and you see advertisements in European cities for the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra. It's a big deal. We have championship sports. Don't talk to me about the Pirates. We have historic neighborhoods and a cost of living that still outperforms almost all the other major metro areas in the country. We have rivers and bridges and green hills and a cityscape that inspires. We have seasons. As today is showing you, we have several all in the same weekend, right? We have challenges. We have population stagnation, even as our peer regions have grown. We have the talent and the ambition, but if we want to grow, we need to treat transit as the essential infrastructure that it is. At Pittsburgh Regional Transit, we are doing everything we can to protect and strengthen the service that 130,000 people and more rely on every weekday. We're stretching every dollar. We're collaborating with our community partners. Thank you so much. We're making sure our friends in Harrisburg know why this is important. But we're doing this against a backdrop of a looming funding crisis. For years, we have relied on state funding that hasn't kept up with the cost of doing business. And unless a sustainable replacement is found, we will see painful service reductions and fare increases. We could lose critical coverage at the exact moment when more people need us to get to where they want to go. These aren't decisions we take lightly, and we are fighting to avoid having to make them. Bless you. The cost of cutting service isn't just measured in miles or minutes. It's measured in missed shifts and missed classes, lost opportunities, businesses that struggle to attract workers, and families forced to make impossible trade-offs. And it sends a signal beyond this. It says, the city isn't serious about growth. It says this region isn't ready to scale. And it tells young residents and new residents, maybe this isn't the place for you. This is not a message that we can afford to send. But this is not a conversation about what we don't have. This is about what we do have and what we can build together. Our vision is already in place. Through our next transit long-range plan, through bus line redesign. Wow, bus line redesign, you guys haven't talked about that in a minute. Through hundreds of meetings and thousands of comments from all over Allegheny County, we built a roadmap for the future. We're talking faster, more direct service to Oakland, home to tens of thousands of jobs and students, new rapid transit corridors connecting key parts of the county, reliable, frequent evening and weekend service. Dream my 24-hour dream, you guys. Come on, let's do it. Better airport access for workers, visitors, and everyone in between. Service expansion into communities like Wexford, which is not only Christina Aguilera's hometown, but where new development is outpacing transportation options. A reimagined Penn Station. Come on, guys, imagine a train to Penn Station all the time, not just as a landmark, but as a modern multimodal hub and modernized maintenance and operations facilities that let us keep pace with demand and help our staff do the best job that they can. These aren't just ideas on a whiteboard. These are real plans. What we need is a commitment for funding to make all of this real. And that brings us back to this moment. We have a preliminary budget on the table. Conversations are underway. And choices made in the upcoming weeks and months will determine whether we move forward or we fall behind. We are greatly encouraged by the governor's proposal. We're grateful to the leaders who have made transit part of this discussion. And we're extremely proud of the coalition that's come together to advocate for smart, sustainable investment. But let me be clear, even if the governor's proposed increase goes forward, it's not enough to avoid devastating cuts. We need a long-term solution that provides predictable, sustainable support for the system our region depends on. And this is about more than dollars and cents. It's about whether we want to be the kind of place that plans ahead or that reacts when it's already too late. So this is what I'm asking today. Let us choose to believe in our people. Let's choose to believe in the value of connection, of opportunity, and mobility. Let's choose a future where more people can thrive regardless of their zip code, their income, or whether or not they own a car. Let's choose a region that invests in growth and doesn't just hope for it. Because with the right tools, Pittsburgh can be something even more special than it already is. We've done the work, we've built the plan, we know what's possible. And now it's time to act. We're asking to fund the transit system that our employees, our riders, and our region deserve. Thank you. Madam Chair, unless there's any questions, that wraps me up.
Thank you, Catherine. Our next report will be from Member McClenny from the Performance and Oversight Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sure.
Good morning to everyone present. The Performance Oversight Committee met last week, and I have one resolution for the board's consideration. The committee reviewed 8 procurement items and determined the bids to be in accordance with PRT's procurement policies and procedures and the prices to be fair and reasonable. The Performance Oversight Committee recommends authorizing the award of bids listed in the resolution for the total amount of $3,681,704.96. My fellow members, I respectfully request the board approve this resolution.
Thank you. With that, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Hearing a motion and second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Unless there are any questions, that concludes my.
That is the shortest report of the POC, I think, in the history of the PRT ever. Thank you very much. Our next report will be from Member Fan for the performance, or for the Planning and Stakeholders Relations Committee. Bobby?
Good morning, Chair Liptak, fellow board members and stakeholders, and everyone else in the room. The Planning and Stakeholder Relations Committee met last week. I have a few items for the board. Staff presented an update on the PRTX University Line project. Phase 1 project construction on the downtown loop will be completed this summer. One of the most visible and impactful changes will be the red bus lanes that will be completed in phases beginning May 19th and continuing into June. Work is weather dependent and traffic patterns will be adjusted for each phase. In addition, 5 PRTX stations with upgraded amenities are being installed downtown, with 3 currently in progress. The University Line project will impact many other bus routes downtown in late June. 6 modular curb extensions, which serve as bus stop platforms, will be installed. These alternatives to permanent concrete curb extensions will provide more space for waiting riders at larger volume bus stops or in areas with small sidewalks. There will also be some changes to signs and pavement markings to support these platforms and bus turning movements. Phase 2 of construction uptown in Oakland has been underway since January. The contraflow bus lanes will likely be removed sometime in 2026 as bus traffic shifts all outbound movements to Forbes Ave. The University Line project has a budget of $291 million, with PRT contributing 24% of the total cost. Local and state spending of $112.4 million secured $178.6 million in federal grants that would have gone to another city if PRT had not applied. The routes serving the project directly provide about 17,000 daily rides, or about 1 of every 6 PRT bus riders. Second, staff presented an update on the June service changes. In summary, many of the service changes will be focused on the downtown area as the University Line begins to take shape. 4 PRTX routes, the 61A, B, C, and 71B, will begin to follow the permanent University Line routing downtown. Stop changes will occur for 42 routes, and downtown routing changes will occur for another 20 routes. Trip adjustments, trip time adjustments, run time changes, and frequency changes will also occur. Specific route details will be made available on the PRT website, and signage will be posted at impacted bus stations and stops. Third item, staff presented a resolution for PRT to enter into the Manchester TRID cooperation agreement. The Urban Redevelopment Authority, along with the City of Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, Pittsburgh Public Schools, and PRT, undertook a transit revitalization investment district TRID planning study to investigate the usefulness of developing I think it's actually a TRID, right? A TRID to support development of public infrastructure and transportation for the Manchester Chateau neighborhood of the City of Pittsburgh. The MC TRID Phase 1 implementation plan was then developed by URA to identify projects to be funded through the incremental tax project by the creation of the TRID. PRT has 2 projects identified to be funded with the 1.5 million of the tax increment. An Allegheny Station area plan, a rapid transit study of the corridor north of the station along the Route 65 corridor. PRT must enter into a cooperation agreement to formalize the adoption of the TRID plan along with the URA and 3 taxing bodies. I'm respectfully requesting the board's approval of this resolution to enter into the cooperation agreement once it is finalized and in a form approved by the PRT legal counsel. Can I ask for a motion?
Thank you. Thank you, Member Fan. With that, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Hearing a motion in a second. Questions? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried.
Unless there are any questions, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Bob. Our next report will come from the Finance Committee. Member Shukera, thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, fellow board members, and meeting attendees. The Finance Committee met on Thursday, May 15th, 2025. There was a review of the status quo budget assumptions and the preliminary operating budget, as well as the April financial results. There was also a review of the proposed fare increase of 25 cents to the current base fare from $2.75 to $3. This increase will result in about a 9% increase for all fare products. The fiscal year 2026 preliminary operating budget totals $538,875,695, which is a 0.64% decrease versus the FY 2025 operating budget. This decrease is a result of a planned service reduction in February 2026 to ensure PRT's sustainability for the next 10 years under current funding levels. It was reported that passenger revenue in the current fiscal year passenger revenues are steady at fiscal year 2024 rates. Preliminarily, the agency projects the proposed service reduction and fare increase for FY 2026 will have a negative impact of a 20% reduction on revenue, with a reduction of 6% compared to FY 2024 passenger revenues. The preliminary FY 2026 operating budget subsidy stakeholder totals $291.4 million from the Commonwealth, $40.7 million from Allegheny County, and $3 million from the Regional Asset District. There is no increase in budgeted Commonwealth funding versus 2025 levels. If legislation is passed to increase Commonwealth funding for transit after PRT's final budget is approved, PRT will, of course, amend this budget. The preliminary operating budget includes a reduction of 38% wages and salary costs, as well as reductions in operating expenses due to the reduced service. There's also an assumed increase in unemployment compensation costs in the amount of $24.5 million during FY 2026. The preliminary budget assumes an increase in pension expense after a 1-year reduction during FY 2025 related to satisfying increased contributions to the plan due to the 2008 stock market losses. The preliminary budget also increases the health benefit, includes health benefit increases due to contractual increases with providers, and diesel fuel expenses are increasing due to market volatility. It was reported that the current 10-year financial plan indicates that PRT's deferred reserve balance will reach the minimum reasonable amount of 3 months operating costs by FY 2027, given the reviewed assumptions. PRT's CFO Dominica Brown reported that the preliminary FY 2026 capital budget is currently set at $189,282,037, which is an increase of 16.9% from the FY 2025 capital budget. This increase is due to budgeting dollars previously saved for bus purchases and increase of some federal and state funding. The preliminary FY 2026 capital budget primarily consists of debt service, revenue vehicle purchases, information technology and transit enhancements, and funding for various fixed guideway and facility improvement programs. The following is a review of the April financial results presented at last week's meeting. It was reported that the total operating income for the month of April was under budget by about $400,000 due to lower passenger revenue and access. Total expenses for the month of April were below budget by $5.3 million due to every expense category being under budget. Total operating income is $1.2 million higher than last fiscal year through April due to higher passenger revenue and interest income. Total expenses through April are $8.4 million higher than last fiscal year due to higher expenses in every category except access. Total subsidy is $96.1 million lower than last fiscal year due to federal stimulus funding having been fully expended at the beginning of this fiscal year. Finally, it was reported that PRT ended the month of April with $408.4 million in cash reserves. Unless there are any questions, that concludes my report.
Member Shuper, that report. Our next report is from the Technology Committee with Chair Berger. I don't know why I always have problems saying your name. I apologize. My apologies. Mr. Chair,
Bergender.
I said that and it didn't sound as fun as you did. Thank you.
Everybody mispronounces it. Good morning, Chair and fellow board members. The Technology Committee met on May 15th, and I have two resolutions for your consideration today. The committee first reviewed two bids. The items presented were for procurement of copier management services and Dell laptops. The committee determined the bids to be in accordance with PRT's procurement policies and procedures, and the prices to be fair and reasonable. The Technology Committee recommends that the board approve the award of the items as listed in the resolution for the total amount of $397,184.80. My fellow board members, I respectfully request that the board approve this resolution.
Thank you. With that, I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Hearing a motion second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
The second resolution presented was for an extension of two existing agreements with Schneider Bachmann USA Fare System Services. These include both the Farebox warranty agreement and the non-Farebox equipment and software maintenance services agreement. Both agreements are being recommended for one-year extensions and amendments for increasing the total not to exceed amount by $1,028,079 and $2,046,380.68 respectively. The committee concluded that these services are needed and that the prices are fair and reasonable, and respectfully recommend that the board vote in favor of the resolution to authorize the amendment. My fellow board members, I respectfully request that the board approve this resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With that, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. I'm hearing a motion second. Questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Unless there are questions, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item of business will be new business, and I will be presenting under this, along with Stephanie Sherman, who is the chair of our nominating committee. I believe Stephanie is online, correct?
Yes, correct.
I'd like to recognize Stephanie for attendance at the meeting. And I know she was on earlier, I just didn't mention it earlier, but she's been on for some time. So with that, I will begin. Thank you. Our first order is a report from the nominating committee. So I'm going to start with my presentation, and then we'll move on to Ms. Turman. So we were hold a special election of our board members at this time. The special election is being held to fill certain officer positions due to departure of former officers from the board. These officer positions include the vice chair and secretary positions. These positions will be filled for the unexpired terms of the officer who's previously held the positions, which is for the remainder of the calendar year of 2025. I will continue to serve as board chair, and Ally Doyle will continue to serve as treasurer pursuant to our election of those positions at the board's annual meeting in January of 2025. At this time, I would like to have the report from Chair Turman from the nominating committee. Chair Turman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I offer the committee's proposed slate of officers for the special election, I would like to thank my fellow committee members, Ally Doyle and Emma Shuker, for their assistance and guidance. The slate of officers being recommended by the nominating committee for this special election is as follows. Vice Chair Emma Shuker and Secretary Joe Totten. But nothing further, I give it back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank the work of the chair and the members of the nominating committee. With that, I hear a motion to recommend member Shuker for vice chair and member Totten for secretary. With that, I'm going to ask for any other nominations. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? With that, nominations are closed. I will ask then for a motion to adopt the slate of candidates as presented by the nominating committee.
Motion.
Second.
Hearing a motion second, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. I want to thank the nominating committee, and I want to congratulate the candidates. Member Shuker. Thank you. Have fun with that. That's good. That was a great position. I held it. And Mr. Totten, thank you very much. We do appreciate both of you stepping up into these roles. And we look forward to continuing to working with you. Next up, I do want to announce I have one more appointment of chair. Senator Lindsey Williams has graciously accepted my request to serve as our chair for the Financial Audit Committee. That chairmanship was vacated by former Senator, oh my gosh. Brewster, my goodness, I can't even believe I'm losing it today. And so I would like to thank Senator Williams for graciously accepting that position. So, and for your willingness to do so. So thank you.
Thank you,
Moving
Madam
on.
Chair.
Thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate it. And again, congratulations to everyone appointed today. We really do appreciate all their support and help. Next, we're going to move on to public comment. So our first individual on the public comment list is John Oakes. Welcome, John.
Thank you very much for the board's time. My name is John Oakes. I'm president of council for the municipality of Bethel Park. This letter I'm going to read is from council and myself to the board, and it's to represent all our constituents and all our residents of Bethel Park and everyone that uses public transit. The Bethel Park Municipal Council would like to express its strong opposition to the elimination of the Silver Line and reductions to the Red Line, and request that funds be secured and allocated to retain these vital services. The elimination of the Silver Line and reductions to the Red Line will have a profound negative impact not only in Bethel Park, but also in the surrounding South Hills communities. Having served our residents and businesses for over 100 years, the Silver Line, known by various names over the years, has a long history in Bethel Park. And during that time, both Pittsburgh and Bethel Park have benefited from this connection, promoting economic development and residential growth. By cutting service to this line, you will be continuing a policy of disinvestment in the Pittsburgh suburbs, which has contributed to and will further inhibit regional growth and connectivity. Not only will service cuts reduce future growth in the South Hills, but it will further contribute to the increasing office vacancies within downtown Pittsburgh by eliminating connections for workers and discouraging businesses from operating there. For many, it would mean losing their sole means of commuting to work. Bethel Park and other communities along the Silver Line are actively promoting development projects designed to connect residents to employment opportunities, essential services, and entertainment. Currently, Bethel Park is updating its zoning laws to incorporate transit-oriented development zones near stations on both the Silver and the Red Lines. However, removing the Silver Line would undermine these efforts by eliminating the foundation for future developments tied to these zones. The decision would also jeopardize several planned projects, including the U.S. Film Square development located within walking distance of the Hillcrest Station in Bethel Park. This project includes apartments and retail space, both of which benefit from the accessibility provided by the Silver Line. Similarly, South Park Township has a major housing development, Summit Station, that offers direct access to the library station on the Silver Line. Many new residents chose this development precisely because of its proximity to public transportation. Eliminating the Silver Line would directly impact these residents, as well as the viability of these development initiatives. The Red Line, a vital transportation service, is also under consideration for significant reductions in the PRT proposal. This line provides essential connections to the South Hills Village Mall, grocery stores, and shopping districts in Bethel Park, while offering direct access for residents to work opportunities and entertainments in downtown Pittsburgh. Reducing service would not only limit access to these businesses, affecting their revenue, but would also hinder residents' ability to reach necessities, services, and employment. Furthermore, while PRT has proposed upgrades to Bethel Village Station to improve accessibility, cutting service to this station would diminish the value and impact of such investments. We urge PRT to secure the necessary funding and allocate it to maintain the Silver Line operations to eliminate any proposed Red Line service reductions. Doing so will uphold the commitment PRT made to our region when it assumed control of the various private transit carriers previously operated these lines. Please let us know how Bethel Park can contribute to helping you achieve this goal. Thank you for your attention and consideration. Very respectfully and sincerely, the Municipality of Bethel Park Municipal Council. Thank you all.
Speaker is Steve. And I just want to clarify, I believe Marlon, Collingwood, and Jeffrey Bessong are also here, but are you ceding your time? So because of that, you're all with one organization. You'll be allotted 5 minutes to speak.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the PRT Board for this opportunity to present to you today. I do want to introduce my esteemed colleagues, Marlon Collingwood, who's the Vice President of Enrollment Management at Point Park University, and our Associate Vice President and Chief of Police, Mr. Jeff Bessong. I come to you today on behalf of Point Park University, the Point Park University Board of Trustees, and the safety of the university of nearly 5,000 students, faculty, and staff to express our concern related to the PRT's proposed relocation of its Wood Street, Forbes, and Fifth Avenue bus stop as part of the Next Transit project. The bus stop is currently located at PNC Plaza, a location built to house a major bus stop with large sidewalks and pedestrian seating. The bus stop is one of downtown's busiest, with around 1,200 riders on and off daily. PRT's current plan will move the bus stop 1 block south to an area outside the entrance to our university center with small sidewalks and no infrastructure for public transportation. The University Center complex serves as a hub on Point Park's campus. It houses the university library and connects to the Pittsburgh Playhouse. Over 800 people use the University Center entrance on Wood Street each day. In addition to the University Center, the high-traffic storefronts in the area include a bank, hair salon, fitness studio, and 2 convenience stores. The area is already crowded, and the addition of 1,200 PRT riders will create an unsustainably congested and unsafe environment. PRT acknowledges this issue and, as a result, intends to remove the parking lane on Wood Street to accommodate the installation of a bump out. However, this plan will cause more harm to the area. The bump out will add sidewalk space, but will also restrict traffic. By removing the Wood Street parking lane, delivery drivers and emergency personnel will park in the traffic lane, creating an unsafe environment where traffic will have to enter an oncoming bus lane to navigate around parked vehicles. If implemented, PRT's plan will harm the university and the small businesses that line one of downtown Pittsburgh's most vibrant blocks. Increased congestion will reduce by visibility, creating opportunities for potential security issues like loitering, theft, or other disruptive activities. These security concerns will demand more university police resources, limiting the university's ability to maintain security over the rest of its campus. Excuse me. Most importantly, however, the issues created by the relocation of the bus stop will create a perception of reduced campus safety. Year in and year out, our students list safety as their number one concern about downtown life in downtown. The relocation of the bus stop will make it more difficult to recruit students and therefore jeopardize the financial stability of the university. This relocation could also jeopardize the university's current initiative to increase enrollment by over 1,000 students over the next few years, which will have a negative impact on the revitalization of downtown. We urge the PRT to refrain from its planned relocation of the Wood Street, Forbes, and Fifth Avenue bus stop. The university is happy to consult with PRT on viable alternatives that would not jeopardize university activities. And once again, thank you so much, Madam Chair and PRT Board, for this opportunity to present to you today.
Next speaker would be Christine Mitchell-Wallace. Christine Mitchell-Wallace. Not seeing her. And one more time, Christine Mitchell-Wallace. Our next speaker is Fonda Doucet. Is Fonda, are you online? Fonda Doucet, you're up to speak. Fonda Doucet. Give Fonda a moment. Next speaker will be Joy Dore. Joy, are you online? Joy Dore? Saying that properly?
No, it's Joy Dorr.
Joe Dore. Thank you for being my interpreter for every meeting. He is the best, I know. Joy Dore. If Fonda or Joy is online, we have you available to speak now. If you'd like to turn your mic on, please.
I'm here.
Hi, Fonda.
Hi, how are you?
Well, thank you. It's your time. Are you ready to go?
Ready to go.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a question for the board. Why continue to seek funds when you haven't addressed the leaks in the organization? There are leaks coming from one department, especially that I know of and have first-hand information about, that creates leaks because of the unethical decisions they make that they end up having to pay for later. Case in point, first quarter 2023, the agency received an unemployment compensation bill for over $500,000. Was that addressed? It definitely could have been avoided. What was done? Public needs to know, because this department makes decisions based on ego, retaliation. They end up paying for it always. It's like the leak is so big you can drive several buses through it. But you're going to continue to ask for taxpayers' money when you haven't addressed the issues within. It's like having all the windows open in the middle of a Pittsburgh winter. And that's just one department. Maybe Senator Williams can address it because he will know about it. And I'll give him a list of all the financial missteps that the HR department alone made that helped create this deficit. And nothing was done about it. Except, oh, you did a new nepotism policy. I ran down several items that could have been addressed last year. That's my time.
Thank you, Ms. Doucette. Our next speaker is, again, I'm going to try for Joy Dorr. Joy? I can't see that board. I can't read anything on that board.
She's still on, but according to our IT folks, she is showing as on hold. They can't get her mic turned on. She's on.
I'll try one more time for Joy. Can we note if Joy signs up, can we make sure that Joy has opportunity at next meeting? Okay. There's a little bit of a technical issue, maybe on her side. Okay, with that, our next regular meeting is for Friday, June 27th, 2025. That motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All right,
Second.
good. Second, good. With that, thank you, and everyone have a very happy, safe holiday weekend. Meeting adjourned.